Hello, everyone. Father John Hynes here at St. Catherine of Siena in Wilmington, Delaware, on this 33rd Sunday of the year. When we hear today's gospel, Mark, it speaks of the sun no longer giving its light, of the stars falling from heaven, of the whole world as we know it being shaken, changed, possibly even, it seems like, destroyed. But this is not what Jesus is pointing at. He is talking about something of a great change taking place. But his final example of description is when you see the fig tree and the other trees putting out their buds, you know that summer is near. Somehow he's talking about a new life, a new world. How do we apply it to our world today? Well, in one very real sense, our world today is heading toward a disaster. We're all aware that because of the change in temperature in the world, because of deserts where deserts didn't used to exist, of storms, of the rising ocean tides, we're facing in the next 50 years some very tragic consequences. And the nations of the world are trying to do something to limit carbon emissions, but it's going very slowly. Let me read the words of some of our popes, Pope Francis, but also Pope Benedict and Pope John Paul, about this. Our sister Earth now cries out to us because of the harm we have inflicted upon her by our irresponsible use and abuse of the goods with which God has endowed us. The violence present in our hearts, wounded by sin, is also reflected in the symptoms of sickness evident in the soil, the water, the air, and in all forms of life. We will become victims of the degradation caused by our exploitation of nature. This is not somebody's opinion. This is not some random right-wing or left-wing forecast. These are the popes of the Catholic Church. So we face this ecological crisis. And those of us who have eyes to see, we notice that, yes, we have beautiful autumn leaves this week, but this used to happen back in October. It's great that we can swim in the ocean nicely in June, but it used to be July. The warming is taking place. And while where we live, may not be so affected by it, it affects very seriously the lives of others. So all the things that we are encouraged to do today to take care of our ecology, whether it's the disposal of paper goods, of metal and plastic goods, supporting legislation which limits carbon emissions, trying to give creation its rightful place with us. All these things matter. And as Catholics and Christians, which end of the world are we in favor of? An end which is a slow destruction, or an end which is a goal, like the end zone in football? The real goal of our striving is to have a world that's better for everyone. This is part of our faith. We can't say that's just civic or social or economic matters. This is part of our faith, that we have to seek an end, a goal for the world we live in, which makes it a better place to live for all people. Right now, we're heading in the wrong direction. It's a moral duty of us, both as individuals and the way we handle waste and the way we consume, to put a limit on our consuming, to be willing to live in a world of more limitation on our lifestyle so that everybody can live. I'll put it in a simpler way. What kind of a world do we want to leave our grandchildren? Shall we be like the person who said, well, it's all going to come to an end anyway in 100 years, the way we're going. There's no use me trying to limit my lifestyle now. That's a very selfish attitude, of course. I think we have to be like those women in Guatemala in a place where there was great shortage of food, great shortage of livable nutrition. They were grandmothers whose daughters were out working. They took care of the children, and they gave up eating their regular meals. One of them said, when there's a scarcity of food, do we take care of ourselves or of our grandchildren? We choose our grandchildren. It's not as drastic as that, but that is what we must think about when we hear our Lord talk about the end of the world. Do we choose the destruction of the world, or do we choose a new goal, a new way of striving for ourselves? That's the issue which to me is raised by the expression of our faith, the end of the world and the second coming of Jesus. Great to be with you. We have on my left and on my right the world itself and the signs of a bountiful harvest, and above me this cross from El Salvador, which among a very tormented people shows their confident hope. It shows Jesus on the cross, but it shows new life, productive earth, happy people. If only we could be that simple and that happy.